Hi, my friends. It is the evening of January 6th, and I'm hoping to finish this video tomorrow and hopefully get it up on the same day. If not, it'll be the day after. I think it's been about 9 or 10 days since I made my video thanking you guys for your ideas about how to deal with the strange coloring mishap that happened with my hair. And while I had every reason to believe the rest of it was going to easily come out with how much lighter it had appeared after what I had done to it that day, the results have actually been anything but. I've repeated the process I did in that video a few more times with the crushed up vitamin C in the clarifying shampoo, and I did it again where I left it on for an hour under a bag so it could heat up. And then again, I put it on a second time, or what would have actually been the third time, but second time since I made that video, and left it on for 2. And it's not coming out. And on top of it, it changes colors. Sometimes it's actually looked lighter than this, and then it starts turning darker and darker and darker again. And while it may seem like it's doing that as I'm wetting it more and more and more again with the same water that had caused this in the first place, that hasn't even always been true. I've actually seen it go through myriad of color changes within a 5-day period where I hadn't wet my hair again since the 5 days before, and then I started seeing it changing colors little by little over the days. So it's been completely perplexing. I originally Googled this before I made my initial video asking if any of you had any answers or ideas about this, and I wasn't able to find anything then, but something gave me the idea to try it again, and I started finding some information where some people were talking about their hair getting discolored with similar types of coloring as what I feel I've experienced, and they have believed it's been from iron being in the water. I'm not really sure why I didn't have this problem before, but you may have heard me mention on one of my other videos, I have noticed water changes within just the water system in this house over time. There was a point where everything was clogging up every time we turned around with mineral deposits, and yet my neighbors right next door who did not even have a water softener were not experiencing anything near like the problems that we were. The home here is actually raised up about 15 feet or so higher than anyone around, any of the houses around us, and it's built on top of a rock that was raised up. Everyone also has different depths that their wells go to, and I've seen that just in some of the figures that I've seen on some of the well depths around me. So it's really hard to say. I mean, originally I had thought that everyone around here would have like the exact same water, but I started to find out over the years that wasn't the case, and it looks like whatever is happening now is not happening to anyone around me. One of my neighbors next door has graying hair, and I've seen his hair, it looks normal. I ran into my other neighbors that live right next door. One of them has graying hair and blonde hair, and nobody's experiencing anything weird going on with their hair. So I'm not still exactly sure what's happened, and I have gotten to feeling a little bit less hopeful that this is going to be able to be gotten out, and I've gone through a lot of difficult emotions about that as the days have passed, having to come to terms with the fact that my gray hair grew out I'm 4 days away as of today of 8 months since I last dyed it, and I don't know if that's going to be lost because of this. I started noticing that even the whiter looking parts, and it can be very deceiving. In the light that I'm using for filming, it's a very bright white light. It can tend to make things look a lot different, a lot better. But even when I really look at the whiter parts, everything has a tinge of like this yellowy, but it's not just yellow, because I have gotten just yellow from hard water deposits before, and I've gotten them out with vinegar, and vinegar hasn't touched this. I've tried vinegar, which is another thing making me question if it is a hard water thing, and I don't really know if it's iron in this situation, even though I have read that that is what has happened to some people. And different people with different color hair and even their clothing, they've reported getting like orange, pinkish, reddish stains in white hair, blonde hair, even on brown hairs, red hairs, but just changing at these really weird colors. So I did go to Sally's because that was another thing that was mentioned underneath my initial reaching out to you guys for any advice. Someone had mentioned a couple things that Sally has. I went there and talked about it to the girl, and she didn't mention anything about any little packets. Someone had mentioned something about packets underneath that video. I'll go back and look into that situation if what I got yesterday doesn't work. She had recommended this product. Let's see what it says here. It's a clarifying shampoo. There was another shampoo in a bottle that looked just like this with the same brand, and it said hard, like shampoo for hard water. It was like hard water shampoo. She said that that was more like for upkeep, but she said to get things out of the hair, this is the one. When I really questioned her about if she thought that this would get this out, she looked it over and she said, it'll help. It'll pull some of that out. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm praying it's going to pull it all out. I don't know if she was speaking cautiously because she didn't want to overpromise, and you know, I really wouldn't blame her. If I was working there too, I might think twice about how I word things. I'm not sure. And when she really grasped that what has happened here is not on dyed hair, but that this is my own gray-white hair, she then thought that I should use this purple shampoo as a follow-up to the clarifying shampoo. Now, I did notice that this is supposed to be a knockoff of Clairol Shimmering Lights, and I've really seen mixed reviews on people with white and graying hair as to how they feel about the Clairol Shimmering Lights. Some people like it. A lot of people seem to not like it because if I remember correctly, what I think I've heard people say about this is that it kind of makes their hair look more gray. Like if they've had a white sparkly hair, it can kind of tend to make it look more grayed than what they prefer. And so I'm not sure. I've been on the fence about trying the Clairol Shimmering Lights, but at this point, because of what I've got going on, I just figured, what the heck, I'll try it. It says here to leave it on for 3 to 5 minutes before rinsing, but the girl at Sally's, actually advised me to leave it on between 30 seconds and a minute at the most because it will darken the hair or even turn it purple. So I will attempt both of these tomorrow, and then I will be back and I will let you guys know what happened. All right, so I'll be back.